Today, we're going to talk about something incredible. It's the true story of how one man, a judge, a scholar, single-handedly saved the memory of one of the world's most important cities from just fading away. But first, I want to ask you a question, because it's really the heart of this whole thing. How do you actually save a city's soul from being forgotten? And I don't mean just buildings and dates. I'm talking about the stories, the feeling of a place, its entire identity. To get this, we need to go back in time. Picture this. It's the 15th century in Jerusalem. This is a crucial moment, a time when the city's rich, complicated history was in real danger of just disappearing.
You have to understand, Jerusalem had been through so much. We're talking centuries of conflict and political upheaval. It was like a constant storm, eroding the city's memory, washing away the little details and threatening to just wipe the slate clean.
But right in the middle of all this, one man decided to do something about it. So let me introduce you to the hero of our explainer, a judge who became a historian, a man named Muji al-Din. Muji al-Din was, you could say, a son of Jerusalem through and through. Born into this really well-respected family of scholars, he was surrounded by knowledge his whole life. He eventually became a qadi, a judge, and then, in 1495, he finished the one work that would define his entire legacy.
So you're probably wondering, what exactly is a qadi? Well, it's more than just a judge. A qadi interprets and administers religious law. It's a role with enormous public trust and, this is the important part for our story, a ton of influence.
In that position, being a qadi gave him what I like to call a historian's secret weapons. It was like having an all-access pass to the city. He could get into official archives, look at rare legal documents no one else could touch, and his status gave him a direct line to the community, to hear their stories. He even had the authority to go up to buildings and copy the inscriptions right off the walls. So with this incredible access, he started what you can only call a quest. Seriously, this was not some dusty academic project for him. It was a full-on, boots-on-the-ground rescue mission to save his city's soul.
So how did he pull it off? Well, he was literally out in the streets, carefully copying down history from the walls of mosques and public buildings. He would sit down with the city's elders, listening to and writing down all these legends and stories that were never recorded anywhere else. And of course, he used his special access to dig through archives, finding records that were on the verge of being lost forever.
You know, this wasn't just a job. It was so much more personal. This quote, I think, just captures his motivation perfectly. All of that incredibly detailed work, at the end of the day, it was simply an act of love for his home.
So all that effort, that quest, what did it all lead to? Well, he created an absolute treasure. A book that would become the go-to history of Jerusalem for centuries.
And here it is, his masterpiece. The title alone tells you so much. Al-Uns al-Jalil, which translates to the intimate history of Jerusalem and Hebron. That word right there, intimate, that's the whole key. He wasn't just writing about big battles or powerful rulers. He was writing about the very life of the city.
And this book is just invaluable for a few huge reasons. First, it gives us this super detailed map of the city from a time we knew very little about. Second, and this is massive, it preserved all those inscriptions and records he copied. Many of the originals are now gone forever. But maybe the most important thing, he focused on social life, the people, the customs. He didn't just capture the politics, he captured its soul. Okay, so let's jump back to today. Why are we still talking about a judge from the 15th century? Because his legacy isn't some old story. It's a living, breathing thing that's still incredibly important. Just look at that number. Over 500 years. For more than 5 centuries, his book has been the essential guide for anyone who wants to really understand Jerusalem. Think about that. His work is the foundation for historians, for archaeologists, for anyone who's curious about that city. And that really brings us to the main point here. Muji al-Din didn't just write a history book. What he did was so much deeper. He used his unique position, his relentless work ethic, and his profound love for his home to literally preserve the soul of a city for all of us, for the future.
So I want to leave you with this. Muji al-Din saved the stories, the details, the social fabric of his home. If you had that job today, To preserve the soul of your city or your town for the next 500 years, what would you record first? What are the stories and details that really define the place you call home?